SportsNola.com. It's a special edition of the first NBC updates as we talk about the prep football playoffs getting underway this weekend in the state of Louisiana. Lenny Vangilder, Ken Trahan. We're switching seats here, or sides of the camera, if you will. But that's because Ken is the expert on this. So I'm going to sit back and just ask the questions this time. Ken, let's get right into it here. Let's start with Class 5A. Okay. And first of all, what is the one matchup you're most looking forward to seeing this weekend?
Well, I think in terms of possible great games, I certainly think that Ruston at South Lafourche is one to watch. Ruston is a proven commodity in the playoffs. They've done it many times, including last year when they got to the round of 8. Their record is a bit of a lie based upon the schedule they've played. They're a really good team. And South Lafourche, Dennis Gaines has an unbeaten team in his first season. He's done a tremendous job. They beat New Iberia on the road, which was a great win, but their district's pretty light. So it's a battle-tested team against a tough schedule, against a newbie, if you will. That's the home team. This ought to be a very, very close game.
Best chance for an upset as you see it. Is it that game or another one that could be the best chance for an upset in 5A?
It's that game. That's the one I thought would be, and that's what I talked about at SportsNola.com. I think Ruston is, as I mentioned, they've been in very, very tough, and they're a proven commodity. For folks in South Louisiana, I hope I'm wrong. They've done a great job at South Lafourche.
And as we look ahead 4 weeks from now, and we're sitting here talking about who's headed to the Dome, it will be?
Well, this isn't any great revelation. I mean, I think a lot of people that feel 5A is open, and there's 7 or 8 teams that can make it, but I like West Monroe and Rummel to stage a repeat of what happened in 2009. I don't think the game's going to be like the one was in 2009, but I do think those teams will get there, and it will be a much closer football game this time around.
Okay, let's shift gears. Class 4A, and first off, let's start with first we should tell you the first game on the card this weekend is a 4A game with Edna Carr at home tonight at Berman Stadium, and that will kick off the 80 by-district games you'll see over the next 3 days. What's the one matchup you're looking the most forward to this weekend?
Well, first up, we'll have coverage of the Carr Peabody game tonight. I'll be there, and we'll have full coverage of the game, so read it at SportsNola.com. But with respect to best matchups, look, you've got a rematch game from 2 years ago in the opening round. McDonough 35 and East Jefferson, 2 local teams. 2 years ago, 35 in the first round went to EJ and beat them 35-14. East Jefferson is a tougher, better football team now, but 35 is talented. They got Kenneth Santamarino, who's going to Alabama probably. They've got Carlos Henderson, who's going to Utah. They've played a tough schedule. This will be another very close game.
Is that your upset pick, or you see another one that's maybe a chance to be an upset here in the first round?
It's my upset alert. I picked East Jefferson to win the game in our picks online in a very close football game, and I thought that was a great chance for an upset as I looked at things and studied what could possibly happen there. I think Northwood of Shreveport has a good chance against Washington Marion, which would be a lower seed against an upper seed in 4A as well. And then beyond that, I don't know that there's any real upset other than the 17 seed was my upset pick over the 16 seed Plaquemine. But 17-16s are always, flip a coin.
It's like the 8-9 when you get to NCAA basketball time. Who's going to the Dome in 4 weeks?
Well, I think it's a rematch of last year. I think it's number 1 seed Neville, number 2 seed Edna Carr. Except this time around, I think the winner is reversed. I think Edna Carr is going to get that state championship. It's been 3 years building. They've been to the Dome 2 straight years. They have no weaknesses. They're big, strong, fast, well-coached, simple in their approach. Other than that, they've got nothing to offer. I respect Neville. Mickey McCarty's a really good coach. They've won it 2 of the last 3 years. John Diarce is a really good quarterback. They've got good athletes all over the place. But I think Carr's got better players, and they're battle-tested, and I think they're motivated.
A lot of local 4A teams in the bracket, especially on the bottom side, a chance for some great local matchups as we go down the line in 4A. Now let's shift gears to Class 3A, and not maybe as much of a local presence, if you will, in the New Orleans area in the 3A bracket, but let's start with the one matchup you're looking to see.
Well, I think the one that looks like a very close matchup and possibly an upset special is 21 Port Allen at McMain, the 12th seed. Port Allen beat McMain by 9 during the year. This is a rematch of a game that was played here during the year, and they get it again, and the lower seed won the game during the year, and they won it pretty solidly, so I think there's a pretty good shot there. So I think that's one of the good games. I think St. Charles Catholic going to Westlake is another. I think St. Charles Catholic is a road team in the first round. They've won 7 straight games. They're the defending state champion. Frank Monica's a great coach. I'll take my chances with that lower seed any day.
And, of course, those obviously 2 possibilities for upsets there. Yep. Who do you like in the Dome?
Well, I really think it's chalk. I think it's Parkview Baptist and Notre Dame, 2 proven commodities. battle-tested. Notre Dame's played a heck of a schedule. Their combined records of their opponents is like 19 games over 500. Louis Cook's a brilliant coach. They play really good defense. Parkview Baptist, big, strong. They score points. Kenny Guillot's been really, really good for many years. This will be a battle of wills when they faced each other. And I flipped coins over and over again about this game. I couldn't make up my mind. The last coin came up Parkview Baptist. It might change tomorrow.
As we shift gears to 2A, I like the coin flip idea. That's how I pick them sometimes in our prep pick. So as we shift gears to 2A, obviously a lot of interest here. John Curtis, the number 1 seed. But tell me about the matchup you're most looking at this weekend.
Well, I mean, as you look at 2A, everybody's just going to fast forward because everybody expects John Curtis to be in the Dome. And, of course, on the bottom side, everybody thinks Vangilder has a great chance to get back, but University Lab's really good. They could be a team that could upset the apple cart. Biggest problem there is competition and whether they've played tough enough competition. Evangel certainly has. First round matchup, I certainly like the rematch over in Port Sulphur. Carver and South Plaquemines, district rivals in 9-2A. They played a 36-34 game 2 weeks ago, and here they are playing again. Well, that's a tough one for the team that won the first time, and Carver has 3 Division I players.
So as we look ahead to 4 weeks from now, got to think you like Curtis on the top half. Who would you see the Patriots playing?
Well, again, I'm one of those Missouri guys. You got to show me. Evangel is the answer. They played the tougher schedule than University Lab, and they beat Calvary Baptist late in the season. In other words, they're playing good now, and they're battle-tested based upon who they've played during the course of the year. So I'd have a hard time seeing them being beaten, even though University Lab has a talent with a lot of LSU coaches' sons playing on that team.
All right. Lastly, Class 1A, and we get to the 1A portion of the bracket. What is the game you're most looking forward to seeing this weekend?
Well, let me first say that Curtis is going to win 2A. I want to make that inherently clear. I see no way that they will lose in 2A, and I think they will win in solid fashion over Evangel or anyone else that they're going to play in the Superdome. I think Oak Grove St. Frederick 17-16 is a really good matchup in 1A. That's another one of those games that could go either way. Oak Grove's a proven commodity over a long period of time. I think St. Edmund and Country Day is a really good matchup. That's an upset alert. St. Edmund beat Country Day 2 years ago in the second round, and this time around, they're coming down here. The Blue Jays are pretty good. Country Day's 9-1. The problem is their schedule and whether or not they've played a tough enough schedule because their district just isn't very challenging overall. Cedar Creek at home against Central Catholic. That's a good matchup of 2 good football teams that are traditionally good, and I expect that will be another very good football game.
And when we get to 4 weeks from now, who will be teeing it up in the Dome?
Well, again, I've gone over this several times, and I keep coming back to a rematch. Ouachita Christian and West St. John. Last year, OCS won the state championship over the Rams 23-7. The Rams have Kylan Favorite, Jeremy Jackson, 2 really good running backs. OCS graduated a lot of players, and it doesn't matter. You've got a Graves as a quarterback there. Think Saul Graves. You got the right family. And you got, of course, Braden Bristow's playing everywhere. Quarterback, wide receiver, defense. He's really good. Stephen Fitzhugh does a great job. I see that being a rematch. The one team I think that could upset the apple cart is Kentwood. David Career's been there before. He's got a really good team. They're young, by the way, so they're going to be around for years to come, and they're playing very well. Lost only to Laranger in 3A, so they're the only ones I think that could really sneak in. But in the end, it's OCS and West St. John, and I think it's a lot closer than last year, but I have to go with the Eagles of OCS.
I know this is Ken's favorite time of the year. Stay with us here at Sports NOLA. We will have coverage all weekend long and all the way to 4 weeks from now and the road to the Dome. So stay with us. This has been our first NBC special edition update as we preview the high school football playoffs.